Is Hangman a bad world champion? Well, no. Uh, I kind of feel that people are underrating Hangman as world champion recently. Not because he hasn't been putting on good matches, but I think because of the storylines he's been put into. Ever since Hangman Page became world champion, it's had a stark contrast to his sudden rise over the past few years of AEW, the greater foundation of what the company was built on. I think people seem to forget that he's had the most build up towards the title, and with it, he had an entire character arc. The main thing that made Hangman a redeemable babyface was this character arc about vulnerability and toxic masculinity and trying to find yourself with a lack of confidence. Basically, all the foundations that made Hangman Page such a likable character. Now that he's world champion, he still has those elements, but it's much more masked. Those weaknesses are kind of gone because he's already had to face his demon. If you compare him to the runs of Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega, I'd argue his in-ring matches are probably the best, if not better, than all three of those competitors in the first few months of his title reign. Matches against Danielson, matches against the likes of Lance Archer, which was a match that I don't think anyone was expecting to be as good as it was. And even the recent stuff with Adam Cole, his work in this has been so much better than I think people have actually given him credit for. If you compare his run to, say, Kenny Omega, which was, in my opinion, kind of a victim of predictability. And now predictability is not a bad thing in wrestling. It's never really been a bad thing, but Kenny Omega was always kind of set up to be the guy who would lose to Hangman Page. And when you got to some of Kenny Omega's classic matches, it kind of ultimately devalued it to an extent. Likewise, his first time that Hangman went for the belt, Chris Jericho. Very fun character, but in ring wise, I don't think holds a candle to what Hangman has done for his title reign so far. And when we come to Jon Moxley, he had an entire situation built off of a pandemic. There ain't nobody who's going to be able to compare to that type of situation. So when I look at Hangman Page, all I'm really seeing from it is a guy who has a lot of potential still as champion. And I still think that we haven't seen the peak of his reign yet. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but they're still continuing arcs of his character, they're still giving him acts of development, and they're pushing him as a strong babyface champion with inherent character flaws. And for a babyface, I don't really know what else people can ask for. But maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. If you have different opinions, that's fine. Wrestling's subjective. Have a lovely day.